Good morning. Good morning. Liz, you gotta get over here. Vinny just pulled in, so we gotta give him a hard time for being late, Vinny.
I'm on so fast in these shoes.
Liz got new shoes, so now she runs faster. Her shoes, wait, hold on. We're gonna show off the feet. Her shoes look like, I don't know if I can, there we go. Look like socks.
They're awesome.
They are
so
awesome. Good morning. Welcome to the range. And stuff. I'm here. Phil. Liz is here.
Wait, I got my name tag on today too.
Vinny is not here.
He's not.
Vinny is late.
Late Vinny.
Somewhere. He's gonna come strolling in and say, "Oh, hello."
He'll probably give me the finger from across the room.
He probably. Good morning. Welcome to Tuesday. Today is not Monday.
I have a question. Are Mondays or Tuesdays worse?
Cool. Hi, Vincent.
Hi, Vinny.
Guess what?
You're late.
I don't care. I'm here. She's here.
You know-
John's here. Dan's here.
You know the rules.
Everybody but Vinny.
Change my schedule.
Oh, look at his face. He's mad.
You both made my schedule. I just show up and you tell me to.
But you're wrong.
You're wrong. Yeah, I
That's
am.
scheduled for another hour.
Yeah, we scheduled you at 9 o'clock and it's
Exactly. 'Cause
7:45.
I'm always early.
But you're late.
But you're
because
late.
you weren't here before me.
See the struggle. You see. My point exactly every time that I'm late.
All right.
I'm early.
Anyway, what's worse, Mondays or Tuesdays?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think for me and what my weekly routine is, Mondays are worse.
I don't really
But
have.
it's also, so,
I don't really have
man,
days where it's like, oh, man, it's Monday.
it's
Because
so good.
I love my occupation, so every day I'm on vacation. I love that song. I rolled all the windows down. I was listening to that song on the way in, and I was singing it was rapping essentially. It's kind of a rap song. It's kind of like it doesn't matter. Anyway,
Jim, good freaking morning, sir. I was thinking about this last night. I had a pretty hectic day yesterday, but it was awesome hectic. Cause
yeah. Oh, yes.
It was super busy. We had lots of stuff going on at work. So I had jiu-jitsu in the morning, got to jiu-jitsu at 5:30 in the morning, got here at 7:15. Had a great class yesterday, had a great appointment outside of here with a potential new customer, which is going to be awesome. And then went straight from here. I moved very fast to get home and change, grab my mountain bike, and I got to go hang out with my mountain bike team yesterday, which I have not got to do enough of this year because of my crazy schedule.
Awesome.
It was awesome. I didn't get home till 7:30. I mean, I went home and changed and left. Austin was funny. Austin didn't even know I was home. Cindy was picking up the boys from soccer, and she got home. She said, "Did you see Dad?" He goes, "Dad, come home." I literally ran in the house, changed, grabbed my bike, threw it on my truck, and left.
That's funny.
But it was awesome to get to hang out with my team yesterday, which, like I said, I've not got to do enough this
Beautiful
year.
day.
And it was so awesome out. The trails were freaking perfect, and it was cool. It was a good day, super busy, but awesome.
I like those days.
Customer Appreciation Day. I want to make sure I hit this right now. Customer Appreciation Day this Saturday. Weather's going to be freaking perfect. There's no rain.
What's the temperature?
I don't know. It's supposed to be like, I think mid-80s, but
Oh,
right
okay, good.
now they're calling for rain. So hopefully rain's going to go away. This is St. Louis, and Saturday's like a year away as far as weather's concerned.
True story.
So come out, hang out with us. We got all sorts of cool people coming out, all sorts of cool stuff going on. You think you can just show up late and start handing me stuff to talk about?
You're welcome.
Is it a cheat sheet?
It's sort of. It's,
it's
the little handout. So this is all the stuff. You have 2 seconds to read it.
And it's backwards.
1, 2, done. There you go. That's what all we got going on. Deals on all sorts of stuff. They're calling it the Crazy Eights special. Why would they call it Crazy Eights?
Because it's our 8th anniversary.
It's our 8th anniversary. Look at that. Numbers and stuff.
Numbers. I'm so glad I knew that because I
Free-
was about to.
Free lanes all day. 48. Excuse me. 48% off of memberships, 8% off of firearms, 16% off of select firearms, SIG, Glock, Beretta, Daniel, Bursa, Shadow. $16.99 for 50 rounds of 9mm, 16% off of other calibers, between 16 and 24% off of optics, safes, classes,
Nope. What?
magazines, bags in case. Presentations, 10 o'clock we got GO8, Gun Owners of America, going to be doing a presentation. 11 o'clock, Mark Cox and GOA. 12 o'clock, Tactical Care Concepts on Do you want to start doing this thing? Tourniquet use. 1 o'clock, me or her, probably me, but I think we make her do it.
Depends on who's in the dunk
home
tank.
defense solutions. So essentially, how to choose a firearm for home defense.
What's this one going to be doing? What are you going to be doing?
I'm usually doing the same thing I do every year. That's
I don't know that we're going to be doing that. I
Competition
haven't
for
heard
taking
about
guns
it.
apart.
I know they haven't talked about it, but they.
Either that or I'll be in the simulator challenging people.
That's probably your best place.
I guess we got to talk to Charles about that. 2 o'clock, Tactical Care. Holy crap.
Tactical Care Concepts.
Tactical Care Concepts with Wound Packing. Wound Packer. That should be packing. That's weird.
Charles.
3 p.m., Gun Owners of America. 4 p.m., the raffle for the Glock 45 Gen 5.
Good job. You should be on the radio or something.
No way. How do you get entered to win a Gen 5 Glock 45 9mm, not 45 pistol? That's the question you just asked me? Well, this is how you do it. All you have to do is bring in... Hold on, I got to fix my camera here. Come on. All you have to do is bring in some non-perishable items, non-perishable food items, or hygiene items, or household items, okay? Something that we can donate to the Forces for Food down in Jefferson Barracks, goes to support veterans and active duty military personnel. Each canned item or non-perishable item you bring in gets you 1 ticket. Each ticket is an entry to win the Glock 45, which we will draw at 4 o'clock on Saturday. Do you guys mind not talking so much? Well,
Hey, we're doing work stuff.
I'm doing professional talking, and you're over there doing ramblings.
Are you going to go through the inventory or no?
Yes. Okay, we're going to go through
Go
inventory.
really quick.
Okay, here we
Go
go.
the wrong way.
No, I'm not going the wrong way. Here's our inventory. We have lots of it, and it's all going to be on sale this weekend. So, well, most of it's going to be on sale this weekend. So come out here and buy your stuff this week, because it may not be here this weekend. But if you must wait, so be it. We're kind of short on time today, and we have a very important topic to talk about. So I can't go through all the inventory stuff like I normally do. What are you guys
Still
doing?
do it.
What are you guys doing?
It might be probably.
How is something might be probably?
I don't know. I'm having vocabulary issues today. Oh, let me see. My
All right.
problem is I can pull the trigger faster with
Hold
one
on.
hand.
Nobody
on the gun.
can see anything that you're doing or hear anything you're saying.
I can pull the trigger faster with my just one hand on the gun than if I put slow drastically down.
I think it's a her problem.
It's probably, but
I
why?
don't think it's a her problem. I don't have that problem. I don't feel any difference.
I don't feel any difference either.
I
That's
do.
weird.
Maybe that's part of my problem.
That's a
I just think it's
physiological issue.
I think it's
Anyway,
Anyway.
that's something we can dig into. That we'll actually, I take that back. We'll just let you overthink later.
I already did overthink it, but
Yes, which is what led you to figuring that out.
I can continue on later.
Why don't you continue on with what we're supposed to be talking about today, which is...
Oh, how to choose a handgun.
There you go. Good job.
All right, so where do you start? If you're brand
At the range St. Louis West.
Good answer. That's perfect. How do you choose a handgun? First off, why do you want it?
Yeah, what's its purpose? What are you going to use it for?
Is this going to be a home defense gun? Concealed carry gun? Your first gun? Your first gun
Hold on,
is
you're very short. Oh, it's as
it's as slow as it goes.
it's as slow as it'll go.
Yes.
Uh-oh, it's starting to move now. Vinny, we need a step stool. Vinny, come over here, get on your hands and knees. I know you will.
Anyway. All right. So, what's it for? Why does that matter, Phil? Why does it matter what the purpose of the gun is?
Because different types of firearms have different purposes.
Is there caliber considerations or size considerations, capacity considerations?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, caliber consideration. First off, 9 mil. Unless
Done.
it's like
Caliber consideration's over.
Done. That could be an episode for another day. It's caliber considerations. It'll be over in 30 seconds.
Yes.
9 mil, done. But truthfully, 22 is a great caliber to choose, given the purpose of the gun is for practice or plinking, target shooting, something like that. Something that's more recreational, not defensive. So again, we'll talk about 22 versus 9 mil in another video. But 9 millimeter is a fantastic caliber for handguns. Period. Capacity. More capacity is more better. Almost always. I can't really think of a time where less capacity would be ideal. I can't. Defensive use, recreational, competition. Obviously, there's
Loading magazine sucks.
There's that.
So.
There's that. But we have those awesome speed loaders that have a really dumb name, but they're awesome. But the capacity is important. But you also have to consider what you're sacrificing with capacity or caliber and things like that. A larger caliber is going to be a larger frame gun, I shot a 10 mil one time, Glock 20, which is a full size 10 millimeter Glock, which we know what Glocks look like refrigerators. I could not, let's see if I can do this here. I could not center that in the webbing of my hand. In order to reach the trigger, I had to rotate my hand quite a bit around. So all the recoil from that 10 mil went right into that thumb joint. My thumb hurt for like a month. It was awful. So a Glock 20 is not an ideal caliber / gun for me, period. But let me back up a little bit.
Yeah, I'd like to talk about that grip consideration specifically. That, or I didn't necessarily mean me, I meant you. Like when it comes to choosing a gun, we had a student in class last week or 2 weeks ago who was shooting a 9 millimeter. Oh no, it was a 40 caliber Glock.
Yeah.
And it was a Gen 4 gun, so it had a little bit smaller backstrap than previous models, or a little bit smaller grip than previous models. Still way too big for her hand. Way too big. It was just like what Liz explained with the 10 mil that she shot. She had to very much compromise her grip in order to reach the trigger. Then she's shooting 40 caliber, which is nasty recoil anyway, and with a suboptimal grip, it was a struggle for her, especially when we started picking up the pace. Shooting individual single shots, just like we've said before, the grip doesn't matter when it comes to shooting one time. But when she started trying to pick up the pace, she couldn't with any consistent accuracy because her grip was just not there. And it wasn't her fault.
No.
Sure, she's got probably less grip strength than I do. But even if I was to try to hold on to that gun sub-optimally, my return to target's going to suffer. So having a gun that fits your hand is super important.
Yeah.
Super important. Ritz, good morning.
Hi, Ritz. Which is kind of, we cringe a little bit whenever we have these wonderful people that come in and say, hey, I want to buy a gun for whoever. A lot of times it's just how it works, but a lot of times it's a guy buying it for their wife or their sister or their mother or whoever. And I always tell my students that you have a good support system and they're not doing it with bad intentions. It's just maybe they didn't consider a professional's opinion on getting you a gun that fits your hand correctly. So in any case, it doesn't matter what gender you are, buying a gun for another person can have its problems. And that could go for a kid or whoever. So just something to think about. If you want to buy a gun for somebody, go to the range with them, try some stuff out, get some guidance from somebody. shoot them.
Yeah, I was going to suggest just having those little basic understanding of just how to hold the gun the right way to know if the gun actually fits you. Because you could take, let me steal this from you for a second. You could take a gun that obviously does not fit your hand and hold on to it poorly to shoot it and still shoot the gun. Mm-hmm. Okay, but you don't get it figured out right.
There it is.
That's it. If you don't really know how to hold on to the gun, you shoot it and you say, hey, this gun shoots great. It shoots just fine. But you're not holding on to it the right way. When you learn how to hold on to it the right way, and you're like, well, man, this gun really doesn't feel good in my hand, or I just simply don't like the texturing that's on it, or the lack of texturing. It's too big, too small. So far, we've really talked about just the gun being too big. Gun can
my goodness, yes.
definitely be too small as well. If your fingers wrap all the way around the grip, right, then you've got this hand just kind of sitting on top. Again, you can shoot it that way, but it's not the most comfortable, and it's much harder to hold on to.
So, some issues that we've seen. Let's go over the details of choosing a gun. So first off, the purpose, considering what sacrifices you're willing to make for capacity, ease of shooting it, because a larger gun is going to be way easier to shoot in almost all cases. It's bigger to absorb recoil before it gets to your hand. The sight radius is longer, so it's a little easier to be accurate with, more room for error rather. Again, the capacity. But what are you sacrificing with a large gun? Well, a lot of shooters, especially new shooters, think that holding it out here for a long period of time, like, this is too heavy. This gun is too big. I get it. There's some level of shoulder muscles that you start developing, as you shoot, but you can always come and relax right here. Like, just relax your shoulders. This is actually something we suggest you do, is come to this ready position, and whenever you're ready, you come up and shoot. If your arms get tired, come back down. I promise you that the less recoil that you're going to receive from a larger gun is going to be much more comfortable than this problem right here. So that's a sacrifice you might want to consider sacrificing. So got your purpose. Now what gun are you going to get? So when you put your hands on the gun, we like to say make a gun, take a gun, okay? Trigger finger straight. But a big part of this is I want to center the gun in the webbing of my hand. This can get problematic for some people if the webbing of your hand is not very big, or just the way that your hands move around the gun. One of my students the other day had a very wide opening, like, of the webbing between his, like, it was very wide. So with the gun that he was shooting was very difficult for him to get his trigger finger in here, because his finger was all the way up here, because he had such big hands, and that webbing was really wide that whenever he needed to pull the trigger, he had to, like, back this up and try to squeeze it in there while this hand's on top of it and everything. It's difficult. So also, if you're trying to shoot quicker, more efficient, being able to get your finger to the trigger quickly is also a thing, especially without manipulating your grip. So center it in the webbing, and you want to be able to still reach the trigger. Now here's a thing in the shooting world. Ideally, with this fingertip pad, everybody's different. Everybody's trigger's different, everybody's gun's different, everybody's hands are different. All of that needs to be taken into consideration. The goal is to pull the trigger straight back without moving the gun. So however that works for you. I've seen people shoot with their whole finger, and I'm not recommending this, but they're able to shoot this just fine, and this is more comfortable for them. I've seen people just use the tippy tip of their trigger finger, and that works for them too. It's going to be very specific. The whole put more finger in the trigger or less finger is almost never the case. Yeah. Almost never. It's definitely happened a couple times, but it's almost never the case.
As far as shots being pushed or pulled or whatever.
Correct. Yeah.
You can definitely, if somebody's, as a right-handed shooter, if the gun's moving to the right when they're pulling the trigger, it's possible it's because they have too much trigger finger in there. If the gun's going to the left when they're pressing the trigger, it's probably more their grip and a bad trigger pull, right? If they could drive that grip a little bit more with that left hand, it would keep the gun from going to the left. yeah, like she said, the trigger finger, you want it to be comfortable. You want to comfortably be able to get to the trigger and press or pull or push or yank or
squeeze,
whatever
Ooh,
the trigger straight backwards without disrupting your sights or your dodge or whatever it is that you're looking for.
Yeah. One thing I like to say to my students: imagine you're bringing your finger back to touch your nose, like you're moving in this middle joint only. Ideally, it takes some time to get used to that. It's like Spock fingers. You had to practice that for a while, right? Moving in your middle joint only is also something you have to practice. But that's how we want to be able to pull the trigger straight back from that middle tip, the fingertip pad. Okay? So if you can't get to the trigger without rotating your hand around the gun, can you shoot the gun safely? Yes. Can you shoot it accurately? Yes. All those things exist, but this thumb joint, there it is. It's so weird looking in this. Is going to start getting irritated over time. And you're not going to be able to manage the recoil like you could if the gun fit your hand appropriately. So another thing to consider is the angle and the bore axis of the gun. That's all. Some of that stuff is more finer details that you might not notice as a newer shooter, but the grip angle, Glocks specifically have a very specific grip angle that some people just don't like. So I can usually tell when someone picks up a Glock if they're going to like it or not, just because like they cannot get rid of this gap just because of the way that their hands fit on it or something. Also, some of the high bore axis guns like a SIG P320 or a Canex have really high bore axis, and they're quite wide back here. So if you have a smaller webbing in your hand, that's going to be difficult for that to nestle down into your hand. That's one of the issues I had with the Echelon, is it was too big right here for my hand, and it just hurt.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to say. It may not even feel like it necessarily compromises your grip, but if you shoot 10, 15, 20 rounds, which is nothing, and it starts rubbing you raw, that's
uncomfortable.
How much are you going to enjoy that? How much are you going to shoot it? So
yeah, one of the guns I had a while back before I started growing a whole lot as a shooter was a Glock 26, and I loved the Glock, and I wanted to be able to have bigger magazines, blah blah blah, but I wanted a smaller gun. I could not hold that gun well enough to get it to cycle correctly. It would failure to extract, and I get stovepipes a lot because my grip was just not able to hold that thing the way that I needed to. The grip was too fat, and I couldn't reach the trigger very well. I couldn't apply enough pressure with my support hand, and by the time I did, in order to get the gun cycling right, the palm swell, this part right here, had made such a blister on my palm just from me trying to hold on to it tight enough for it to cycle reliably. Again, that's just me, but it's something to consider when you shoot a gun. Like over time, it's gonna change. You're gonna change around the gun a little bit. It's not just like, oh, go shoot 5 rounds and boom, that's the gun for me. It could, and you could grow with it, but as you grow as a shooter, you might find these little details more important to you. The bore axis that I was talking about, having a gun that sits like nestles down into your hand a little bit more like a Glock versus a SIG or something that's the bore axis, the axis of which the chamber and the barrel line up is higher above your hand. So you might feel a little bit more muzzle flip than if you were to hold on to a Glock or something. Again, it's very specific to your hands because some people feel more muzzle flip and have a hard time holding these guys, and they prefer a higher bore axis. It's all very subjective. One of the things we'll do with a private lesson is just, if someone's wanting to try out a gun, we'll go out and grab several different guns. We'll analyze your grip and how well you shoot it, how much you like shooting it, all that stuff, and we'll grab you different guns to try out and give you guidance on that. It's also not to say that if you choose a gun and you go shoot it and you're the most accurate with the SIG P320, that doesn't necessarily mean that that's the best gun. There's more to shooting than just that precision, right? Like there's efficiency, and again, it depends on what.
I like the word you chose.
You're welcome. I know accuracy is no longer a thing. It's precision.
Accuracy is a thing.
It's a thing, but it's not what I'm talking about.
Yes.
So consider what the gun is for. If it's a bullseye pistol, then that's fine, and you can make those adjustments with your grip, and you can sacrifice some things. If it's your defensive tool, I highly suggest that grip is. Oh, another one. Let me finish my sentence. I highly suggest that the grip is something you pay a lot of attention to. Okay, concealed carry guns tend to be very small, right? With small grips. Your pinky is a huge part of your grip strength. having a pinky on the grip of the gun is very important to shooting it efficiently. If it's a defensive tool, I'd imagine you want to shoot it efficiently, meaning like you want to speed up with it and you want to be able to manage the recoil to get more shots on target faster. Your pinky is a huge part of that. So if at all possible, consider a carry gun that you can get your pinky on. I know the concept of carrying a smaller gun, easier to conceal, is not always the case, and a lot of times a longer barrel will help you conceal it, but that grip, definitely make sure you get that pinky on there.
We can definitely do an episode on that as well. How
to choose a carry gun.
Yeah, because there's lots of complexities to that. A very common thing that we hear is, we talked about at the beginning, purpose. What's the purpose of the gun? Well, it's going to be for concealed carry. This is your very first gun. Okay. Should your first gun be a concealed carry gun? Man,
that's tough.
it is tough.
We have to, yeah.
In a perfect world, I say absolutely not.
Right.
Right? Because most people think of a concealed carry gun as that little gun. This is my concealed carry gun. I do concealed carry a full-size gun.
Yeah.
That's not what most people visualize when they say, I want something I can conceal carry. They visualize something they can put in their pocket or put in their purse. That's what they think of, okay? Most of the time, not all the time, most of the time that is not a great choice for self-defense, or not for self-defense, pardon me, for a first gun, because of the reasons Liz just talked about, just that it's really hard to build a good solid grip on. There's compromises when it comes to the small gun, and if those compromises make shooting it less fun, you won't shoot it as much, which means you won't be as proficient with it. You won't be nearly as good with it as you should be to be able to use it defensively or carry it on you every single day. Don't start there. Start with a full-size gun, whether you think you'll ever be able to carry it or not. Okay, again, this is a perfect world. I understand guns are not $10 items. Okay, they are expensive. There's other costs that go with them as far as magazines and ammo and all that stuff, training. Start with a full-size gun. You may be surprised that in 2, 3, 4, 6 months, 10 months, whatever it is, when you are comfortable enough that you think you want to start carrying a gun, you might be able to carry that gun. And if you can't, that's okay. Right? That's okay. That full-size first gun, assuming that you shop for it correctly and you got a good gun, quality firearm that is good for you, will make a great home defense gun. Even if you absolutely cannot carry it on you, make a great home defense gun. Now you're going to know what you love about that gun. So when you need to make the compromise decision of the smaller concealed carry gun, you can make a more well-informed decision about that compromise, right? You know that, hey, this is what I didn't get in this one. I didn't get an optic cut. I definitely want an optic cut on my concealed carry gun.
Good point.
I got this feature. Maybe the first gun I bought had a manual safety, and I realize now I don't really want or need it. The texture that was super rough that I thought I was going to like, maybe I don't. Or the texture that was super soft that I thought I was going to like, I really prefer the rougher texture. Little things like that. You can make a better, more well-informed compromise decision for that small gun. So you will spend your hard-earned money wisely. You're going to end up with more than one gun anyway.
Yeah,
I mean, truthfully,
it's going to happen.
If you enjoy it whatsoever, you're going to end up with more than one gun. So
another thing to consider is accessories or anything like other things in addition to the gun, to support the gun. Holsters. If you go buy a really rare gun over there that you don't see a lot of, or it's just not a very common one, you might have
rare being smaller manufacturer, not rare.
Yeah. Sorry,
collectible.
Yeah, well, I mean, it could go both ways, but most people don't carry collectibles. But yeah, just something that's a gun that you don't see a lot of, rare manufacturer or something like that. But you're gonna have a hard time finding magazines. You're gonna have a hard time finding holsters, things of that nature. So, and the red dot mounting option is a big one too. If that's in any way in your future with your firearm, I would highly recommend buying it off the shelf with the capability of accepting it, and that way you can make that decision later.
You don't have to put a dot on it right away. If you put a dot on it the same day or 3 years later, doesn't matter. I think it's important. I tell pretty much all my students now that if I was buying any sort of serious handgun for whatever it's, whether it's home defense or concealed carry, buy one that has the ability to take a dot. If you don't like dots right now, you might later. If you absolutely know that dots don't work for you for whatever your own reasons are, then fine, don't worry about it. It's minimal additional cost to the gun to have the pre-cut and way worth it, in my opinion.
Yeah, agreed. Vinny, what else? What other things to consider when buying a gun?
Simple.
Coffee?
Shoot guns before you buy guns.
Vinny comes in with his profound
Wisdom.
intellectual
Try them before you buy them.
statements.
Try it before.
Try them before you buy them.
It's a good point.
No one puts on a
What's
pair
that
of
say?
shoes before they buy them.
LVPO on an M&P shield.
Oh, that would be. Hold on. You guys keep talking.
I don't like it when he does this. What do I
I
talk
kind of like it. I mean, I want an LPVO
Are you
on my shield. I want an LPVO.
Are you going to make that happen?
Yeah, well, I'm not gonna be able to mount it, but I'm gonna grab a thing and a thing.
Rhino, you started up.
Anything possible is enough duct tape.
There's enough duct tape. Let's just go see what they're doing. Hold on. Don't judge me here. Ugh. How do I twist this? Oh, there it is. Boop. What are you guys doing over here, huh?
What are you doing? Where are you?
Well-
You're supposed to be talking.
Well, I don't like talking, and I'm not.
I
Like,
can't put the camera down.
I look at everybody's not seeing anything.
There you go.
This is why I don't.
Where's it going?
I don't know. Why is it turning? Oh gosh.
Following us.
Okay, go the other way. Disappear with yourself. Vincent, disappear. So here we go. M&P shield and an LPVO. Hold on, it's backwards. Well, that even adds to it. It just makes it even better. That's the way to do it.
I mean, I prefer to see it on a revolver.
Maybe. But that's what you should do going forward.
Gives you +5 to accuracy.
They
Okay.
are. Who's they? Oh, like Smith and Wesson thinking that happened? It doesn't surprise me. With all of their. I'm just.
Anything's possible with enough duct tape.
People are asking
Anything.
questions. Liz, quit freaking looking at me.
They're not asking. Oh, do y'all have any of the 507 comps? I don't know. Inventory is not my thing. Do we have any of the 5? No, we do not. Yes. We do not.
I talked to. It's okay. You don't have to talk.
Good.
You can just
I'm
stand
good.
there and
Thank
look
you,
at the
because
camera.
I didn't know what to say.
I actually talked to Holosun when we were in Milwaukee last week, and they said, "Yeah, good luck." Really, is what they said. They're making them as fast as they can make them, and I don't know who the hell's buying them all up, but we can't get them. We're trying to. So.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, Rhino, is the knockoff Keltec. Just
What?
wait for Keltec to do it first.
Oh. All right. So, what did we decide? What did we solve? Go this way. Go
How
this
to
way. There you go.
how to choose a handgun?
Okay.
Consideration of what it's for.
Find its purpose, what you want it for. Make sure that it fits you. Come to a place like us. If you don't live near us, go to another gun store near you that has knowledgeable people. If you walk in, I'm going to say this as politely as possible, but if you walk in and the guy goes, 2 World Wars! You need to get you a 1911. Just turn around. Not to say 1911 might not be the best option for you. But if that's their go-to right away, or because you're a little lady, you need a 5-shot hammerless revolver.
Yeah. So
Revolvers
it doesn't.
might be your thing,
So it doesn't snag in my purse.
so it doesn't snag in your purse. You need that revolver so it don't snag in your purse, lady.
And it's easy.
And you don't have to rack a slide ever. These things never jam.
No. Not ever.
You can't also never pull the trigger.
Not ever.
I'm triggered.
I'm triggered.
He's triggered.
So go someplace that how do you gauge knowledgeable though? This is
you don't as a
I know
newer
it's
person.
always something that bothers me. I'm gonna tell a really quick story. I'm gonna try to make it as short as possible. I used to work in video production. I had a client who wanted a home video camera. This is when home video cameras were still a thing. Okay. We went to Best Buy. She had a gift card there, like $200 to go towards this thing. This salesperson was trying to tell us all this crap that was not true and didn't realize he was talking to somebody who
Knew what you were
did
talking
that
about.
for a living. He had no idea what he was saying, but he was very convincing. He was certain what he was saying was true, and it wasn't. So he came off very knowledgeable, and he wasn't. So how do people know? Right? That's unfortunately that's something you have to trust, I guess. What were you gonna say?
I was watching this video yesterday on some self-defense. It was some self-defense tactics for realtors, and oh boy, it was bad. So this guy was showing this realtor.
Say, stop it!
It was better than that. On how? Hold on, we need to see our feet back up.
See our feet.
How to defend a kick. So he's like, okay, I'm gonna kick you. So he told her, he's like, all right, put your right foot forward, but make sure you're really like this. He's like, put your right foot forward. Okay, do it right now. And so she's like doing this, and then he goes to kick her, and then so move your foot out. Yep. And then she's like this, and then he's like, okay, do it again. And it was like, it was.
And this was a legit. This wasn't like somebody.
It
making
was
fun of
on
something.
Realtor.com. It was legit, and I am so sad because the whole video was like that. Like, oh my gosh! It was if they do this, then you do this. But except you're supposed to be blocking the kick first before it even happens. And this person is a self-proclaimed, I guess, self-defense expert, and that's scary. We're that guy that was doing all the weapon disarms and everything that got real popular on
Oh my goodness!
TikTok and
What
stuff.
The hell? What's his name, Vincent?
What was that
He's
guy
like
that?
Detroit
I know.
Yeah, the Detroit something, but
Master.
Good morning,
Detroit
Gordon.
somebody. I
oh
don't
man,
know.
how do you know? Like, that's tough.
That is tough.
That's tough. If you're listening to this right now, hopefully you trust our guidance. Please come up here and ask for guidance. I assure you, everybody here, we hire really good people, and if you need information, here's the place to get it. Shameless plug, really, but
That's the best.
what, the pink grip?
Yes,
Yeah.
you know it's a gun for you because it has a pink grip.
Absolutely.
Yes,
I love
That's
pink.
definitely the best way to pick a gun.
Mm. Yeah, paint it really.
So
yeah.
okay, we have literally just a couple minutes.
Okay.
I'm gonna tell one more really quick story.
Do it.
I've told this one before on the live. This happened in your class. Wait. Yes, it was. It was
I'm
your
not
class.
even nervous. My classes are awesome.
She finished. It was a basic pistol class. She finished class. I happened to be in there. I think I helped on the range. I don't know if I did or if I didn't. But anyway, I was in the classroom at the end of class when we're thanking everybody for coming and, make sure you dry fire and practice and ask us if you have questions, type of thing. So I come in. I just say, hey, this is who I am. Please, if Liz was terrible at her job, you can let me know anytime. And I hope you all had a good day, had a good time, yada, yada. That was weird.
Is this the class where they told you to give me a raise? Just kidding.
Anyway, this lady sitting in the back of class. I says, anybody have any questions for me? She goes, come here. I was like, well, yes, ma'am. So I go back there and I sit down next to her. And this was a little old lady. I don't know. She wasn't old. She was in her 60s, we'll say. She was like, I'm mad at you. I was like, okay, I'm sorry. I don't know what I did yet, but I'm going to go ahead and apologize. She says, you sold me this gun and it's garbage. Mm-hmm. And I said, I sold you the gun? And she said, no, this industry sold me the gun.
Oh.
And I was like, what do you mean? Where, did you buy the gun from us? She said, no, I bought it down the street at another store. They told me this was a woman's gun. And I don't
No such thing.
I don't remember what it was, if it had a pink grip or it had, something about it was feminine that made it a woman's gun. And she hated it. And she hated me and us for selling it to her. She thought she got a great deal on a great gun. She's never shot a gun before. Somebody told her that you are a woman. This is a gun for women. Go conquer the world. And she signed up. She did a great thing. She signed up for a class because she didn't know what she was doing. She showed up, took the class. When she realized, when she learned how to shoot the gun, she realized that gun was not even close to the right gun for her. It was tiny. It kicked like a pissed off mule, and she hated it. And she probably spent $600-700 on this whole package, and she was very unhappy.
Yeah.
And that hurts my heart
Absolutely.
for this industry, because we do that shit to ourselves. Sorry,
Yeah.
we do that stuff to ourselves.
Yeah.
And I don't say we; I say the industry.
Yeah, we don't do that here.
Absolutely not.
It's like, that's, I tell people that all the time, is you can come up here and ask whatever question. You can be of whatever gender, race, creed, whatever, it doesn't matter. You come up here, you ask a question, you're going to get treated like a human. You're going to get good information. And you'll be able to walk out of here with an educated decision. Now, if you come into the store and say, I want that one, we're not going to argue with you. We're not going to say, no, you don't. Like,
Literally, somebody's like, I want that gun. I say, okay, that's fine. Why do you want that gun? Well, because my buddy told me it's the best. Okay, it's the best at what? What purpose? I just want it. Okay, that's fine. If you are insistent you want to buy it,
do it. Yeah.
have at it. I have talked somebody out of buying a gun. We actually had somebody complain one time.
I have a hard time talking to people.
I know, because there was he talked to two separate people, and I don't remember what it was he wanted to buy. Let's just say he wanted to buy a Mossberg 940 for concealed carry. Something totally ridiculous, right? I don't know what it was.
Right.
But it was something, the gun was not fitting for what he stated his purpose was. Two different people told him that's not the right choice. He's like, but that's the choice I'm making. We're trying to save you hundreds of dollars and not make a mistake. The gun is fine. There's nothing wrong with it, but it's not going to work for the purpose you intended it for. And again, I don't remember what the circumstances were. But he got frustrated and complained to somebody that we won't sell him a gun. No, we'll sell you a gun. We're just trying to educate you first to make sure the gun you get fits the stated reasons that you said you want it for. And I'd rather somebody be upset with me in the moment, and then later, if they really get into this world, they realize, hey, I really made the right decision by not buying that thing for the wrong reason last time.
And we're not commission based here, so nobody's trying to sell you something to make money. It's opinions. Everybody's got their opinions.
Sure.
Again, everybody shoots a different gun for a different reason, and you will definitely hear opinions, but we're not commission based. So you can come in here and get legit information.
We gotta go.
Okay, bye.
It's time. We got
Toodles.
class. All right. If you guys want to come out and get that good education from the fine folks like Mr. Dano, then you can. He just laughed at himself. You can come see us 14803 Manchester Road. Please do not forget that this Saturday we have our 8th annual awesome party customer appreciation thing. All the deals. Dunk tank. I'm going to be in the dunk tank. She's going to be in the dunk tank. Hopefully the weather will be perfection. Vinny will be doing Vinny things and probably backflips, because that's what Vinny likes to do, is backflips. Sim backflips.
Challenge me.
Thanks, Jason Brown.
And come hang out with us. Ask all the questions. We've got at least some of the answers. Anyway, you had something to say.
We have that Firearms for Home Defense little mini class this weekend. So if you want more info on choosing between a shotgun, rifle, pistol, that would be a good thing for you to come hang out at. So.
Awesome. All right, real quick, one more quick rundown. 10 o'clock GOA, 11 o'clock Mark Cox with the GOA, 12 o'clock Tactical Care Concepts on tourniquets, 1 o'clock it'll be me and the Home Defense Solutions, 2 o'clock Tactical Care Concepts again. I said it right the first time, not the second time.
Wound Packer?
Wound Packer. That has got to get fixed. I just don't like that. 3 o'clock GOA again. And 4 o'clock is the raffle for the Gen 5 Glock 45. So bring in your canned goods, bring in your toothbrushes, your toilet paper, your
Expired.
expired, please. No fuzzy freaking food. Okay? Non-perishable household items, and get a ticket to win that Glock 45. You guys stay safe, be nice to one another, and we'll catch you soon. Later. Hits a button, lady!
Toodles. I had to say it, but toodles. Awkward.